MTV World Stage представляет.
From the very beginning, the Watch Dogs series of Ubisoft games has drawn our real world to the players, but in the near future, where cars still don't fly, but the digitalization of everything and everything is in full swing. Artificial intelligence here already controls cameras, traffic lights and even vehicles. Through a smartphone, you can not only watch videos, but also control many electronic devices. The digital utopia seems literally close, and robots are about to replace humans in hard and dangerous work. But all these digital benefits have a downside: total control over the population through their own smartphones, cameras and other devices. Watch Dogs Legion continues to suck on the same topic and uses the developments of the previous installments of the series, but has it taken a step forward? Let's figure it out. The plot of the game begins very simply. In a world full of all sorts of digital pieces that can be hacked, there is a group of hackers, DedSec, which is fighting against evil corporations. On their next mission, they are set up by other mysterious zero-day hackers and a terrorist attack is hanged on them. The private military company Albion, which is run by a pedantic warrior in terms of suppressing violations, is entrusted with this problem. Well, that is, curfews, torture, detention, any means to achieve peace in the streets. As a result, some of the hackers are arrested, someone is hiding deep underground, so now the only hope to save the city is ordinary citizens. It is through them that DedSec must figure out who is behind the explosions and restore its good name. But the gangster group, Kelly, is also activating in the city, which starts doing business, about which I will not spoil you. This storyline can be applied to our world, which makes it a little uncomfortable. The rest of the Kelly are ordinary street gangsters. There will be another villain, a talented AI inventor, and with her the coolest storyline in the game. I will not say anything else, she is worth it. Well, our main enemies are the mysterious hackers, Zero Day, whose leader is to be found and brought to the surface. The general tone of the plot of Watch Dogs Legion is mostly serious, but there are some jokes and funny moments. True, there will not be very many memorable plot points and locations, but almost all of them are done well. The problem is different: there is a large number of monotonous tasks between them. About gameplay. Everything is about the same as in the previous parts of Watch Dogs. You have a city, in this case London, divided into several districts, and you can freely move around it. Naturally, there are all sorts of items to collect in additional missions, for the completion of which you will receive money, points for pumping gadgets or wardrobe items. You have a phone in your hand. With its help you can hack digital objects around you: drones, bots, servers, gates, cars, cranes, cameras and even other people's smartphones. This is all done literally with one click, so you get into the process very quickly. By the middle of the game, you already begin to automatically see the available opportunities and use all of this on the go. Some missions are generally completed in a couple of seconds. But this happens because most of the missions in the game are generated on the fly. At almost every object or building that a player can visit, there are pre-arranged servers/computers/cameras that can be hacked or downloaded from them. The game throws you a mission from the series. Data that needs to be deleted is stored here on the server and sends it to one of these objects. And all the unique missions and locations among themselves contain many such intermediate tasks, which is why by the middle of the game they begin to be passed almost automatically, which turns them into a routine rather than entertainment. Moreover, if at the beginning each such place is unique for you, you study, research, collect all sorts of notes, then closer to the end of the game, repetitions may begin. Up to the point that you will complete some important mission in the storyline by hacking the computer in the secret room, which you have already been to once. But, I note that this happens very rarely. Personally, in 20 hours of playing, I had only 4 cases, and 3 of which I returned to the same location, but did other tasks there. True, towards the end of the game, when it seems to you that the denouement is near, all this starts to stir up. You must first be given a walkthrough mission and then only a unique one. What for? Well, suddenly you really like it. I personally got tired of it at the end. Or maybe just tired of the game. But I was really curious to know who was hiding under the mask of Zero Day. And that's why it even began to seem that the game has a lot of unnecessary characters and missions that could easily be thrown out. But maybe then the game world would seem not full enough. About Watch Dogs Legion, you need to understand a simple thing: it's a sandbox. There are no reinforced concrete conditions, there are opportunities, and how you will use them is up to you. You can play a spy and try to sneak into objects unnoticed. You cannot go inside at all and try to do everything with the help of a spider bot, but not always. Or you can just rush in with a machine gun and kill everyone. The game leads you by the handle in key plot episodes, sometimes even forces you to recruit and use other specialists, but most of the missions in the game can be completed with only a pistol and a spider bot. Speaking of recruiting, this is a key feature of the game. As I said, only ordinary people can save London from terrorists. This means that there is no main character written in advance in the game. But there is a city with randomly generated NPC, each of which you can control. But not immediately, first the candidates must be recruited. This is a fairly simple process. Most often you need to come somewhere and hack/break/steal something there, and that's it, the candidate is ready to join DedSec. Mercenaries with unique abilities are awarded for liberating city districts. This, by the way, is an optional process. The storyline campaign can be completed without cleaning. Sometimes the AI, the DedSec assistant, gives you the right or just good candidates. But otherwise, the game constantly generates characters around you with random appearance, clothing, conversational type and a set of perks. But even here there is a certain system. For example, some businessmen will have bonuses for making money in an expensive car, a builder will have constant access to a cargo drone, and a beautiful girl is likely to have a discount on clothes, but at the same time buys it chaotically. Yes, there are negative characteristics too, but not much. Someone can suddenly die, someone fart and attracts attention by this, someone constantly loses, or sometimes wins, money in gambling, someone gets out of prison for too long, or recovering from wounds. If you do not turn on the mode of permanent death of characters, then they will simply go to jail or hospital for a while. But you can get them out of there faster if, again, you recruit a citizen with such abilities. There are 4 other types of personnel whose clothing makes it easier for you to stealth in some locations. These are paramedics, construction workers, police officers, Albion mercenaries and Kelly bandits. At first, this is all really surprising. You just start wandering the streets and looking for characters in the crowd, reading descriptions, even picking up some of their abilities, but then you realize that, in general, everything is pretty the same and you don't have any unique super characters will give, or they are hiding in some special places. It is impossible to edit the appearance of the characters, you can only buy them different clothes, which are abundant in the game. But there is a strange moment in this generation of characters' voice acting. If there are no problems with the timbre of the voices, it is simply done a little lower or a little higher. Then I counted few characters for such a large number of people: an elderly, a fighter, a redneck and just a calm person. As a result, I, for example, generated a spy in a jacket and an expensive watch, who bizarre in the style of Chocobo, Shike, as in a builder in a helmet, who spoke calmly and measuredly, like a prince. Although I admit that playing serious stories with the character, Yo Cayman, Natcher is quite fun. Since this is a sandbox that you can go through with a pistol and a spider drone, most likely you will limit yourself to perks that are convenient for your passing style and the appearance of a recruit that is close to you in spirit. Although for a more comfortable game, you should have at least 3 or 4 agents. I have 3 favorites: a rebel with an AK-47 and a grenade launcher, a spy with a pistol with a silencer and an Albion fighter with a machine gun and the ability to more easily penetrate closed objects. At the beginning of the game, I preferred to just clear the locations in quick firefights, especially if I was trying to get a long wait-and-see stealth. And closer to the middle, I tried not to even enter the premises, to solve all the problems with cameras and a spider bot, because this way you can quickly move from intermediate missions to normal storyline missions. And I advise you to be sure to recruit someone from Albion, for example, with a machine gun or even a grenade launcher. In the end, the game constantly throws up missions where you have to shoot stupidly. As for the shooting, it is very simple. The same as the artificial intelligence of enemies. Vehicle management in Watch Dogs Legion remained approximately at the level of the previous parts, although there are a couple of improvements, since there are 4 racing missions here, and those are more about pursuit. And all this, again, due to the fact that Watch Dogs Legion is a hacker sandbox for you to have fun, not sweat. But if you want trials, then put the highest difficulty. Here the game turns into constant stealth, because recruits fly off after a couple of wounds and die forever. Best of all, Ubisoft did what they basically have been able to do for a long time: the city of London itself. And this is not just London, this is the London of the near digital future. It is not yet cyberpunk, but there are already delivery drones flying overhead. There are already cars and buses with autopilot, holography and light installations for various signs and houses are already used here. At the same time, there are buildings of old London like Big Ben, and they are well detailed. But this applies not only to famous landmarks, the whole city and its districts look very organic and visually well developed. Whether it's some old object or a new fashionable skyscraper, a construction site or a sleeping bag, everything fits perfectly and looks as if we can meet this in our city in 5 years. I just want to ride around the city, take screenshots, look at buildings, streets, and not run and hack regular servers. It is worth noting that the inside of the building is also well designed and consistent with its style. In general, the entire visual part of the game is well done. Good reflections, detail, shadows, light. Especially at night, everything around is very juicy and pleasing to the eye. Yes, the game has a dynamic change of weather and time of day. It may rain, become cloudy or cloudy, for example. Of course, there were also glitches and bugs, but open worlds sin with this. I did not come across anything critical. But the thing that spoiled the experience the most was the constant crashes of the game. And I still didn't understand what it was connected with, but I'm not alone. Apparently PC gaming. To summarize, I will say that the game does not make a breakthrough, even despite the rather interesting mechanics with recruits. But I liked it more than the 2 previous parts. If you love stealth and hackers, then you will spend many hours in the game and will not regret it. If you like shooters, then this game is less suitable for you. Also, you will most likely get bored if you don't know how to entertain yourself in such open worlds. Then Watch Dogs Legion will seem to you another soulless conveyor game. And also, if you do not have a lot of time to play, you should also pass by or postpone the game for later. I spent about 20 hours in it, spending 1000 rubles on a play, and did not regret the time spent.